An article on collegefactual.com quotes a study by the American Council on Education that states that only 33.7% of non first time students actually complete their college degree. This is compared with around 54% of first time students. So, non traditional college students, though they are comprising a larger segment of the college landscape than ever before, seem to be completing their degrees at a lower rate. A post-secondary education for non-traditional students can be a daunting task, but I believe it can be made much easier through a couple of simple, practical steps that we might look at today. I know these things have made my pursuit of my post-secondary education much more achievable, much more attainable. Today, I hope to provide you with a couple of very practical steps that will help you pursue your post-secondary educational goals. So let's get started. One of the first and largest challenges that non-traditional students face is in the area of finances, finding funding for their post-secondary educational goals. One of the main, and I would suggest first, options here is to consider and to look thoroughly at the financial assistance options that are available. You can go to fafsa.gov and you can look there and see there are three different options primarily. One is a Pell Grant. Pell Grants have funded completely my post-secondary education thus far. This is determined by how much money you made or didn't make and how many people are in your family. If you're someone who has kids and are going back to college, this is free money from the government, does not have to be repaid, and thus is a tremendous benefit to those who qualify for it. Secondly, there might be scholarships available. There are state and institution-specific scholarships depending upon where you live and where you're going to school that might be available to you to lessen the financial or even eliminate the financial burden that you face. And then lastly would be government subsidized or privately subsidized student loans. These loans can be taken out and usually do not have to be repaid until your degree program is finished or your studies are over. So for the period of time that you are involved in school, it pays for your education and might even provide you with a little extra money on the side. So one issue is the issue of finances. The other major issue that I think we encounter as non-traditional students is just simply the issue of time, and more specifically time management. Considering the factors that make a non-traditional student, such as going to school later in life or already having kids and a family or working full-time and trying to go to school in addition to that, there are built-in challenges to that make time management sometimes a very difficult thing. I came across an article that helps us consider how we can overcome these challenges in our educational pursuits. There are just four things that I want to suggest to you that might help you in your pursuit of these things and as far as time management goes. The first one is to schedule time for study. There's only 24 hours in the day, 7 days in the week. We are all locked into this time-space continuum. There's only so much time. So we have to make it a priority by scheduling it. The things that I schedule, I tend to make a priority and tend to get to. The things that I say, I'll get to them later, I don't get to them later, inevitably. And so it is important that we put aside those times to study. Figure out a time, whether it's earlier in the morning, later in the evening, put it on the calendar and do it. The second one is to enlist family and friends. Undoubtedly, you have somebody in your life that is excited also about your post-secondary educational goals, and they would be more than willing to come alongside you and watch the kids for a little bit so you can study. Or maybe they have an area of expertise in a particular area you might struggle in your studies, and they can come alongside you and mentor and help walk with you through your studies. But ultimately, one of the most important things, I think, is to make self-care a priority. You will not achieve your personal goals, and you certainly can't take care of your family, and you certainly can't balance a job all at the same time if you're not also taking care of yourself. It might be as simple as making better eating choices, eating habits, or taking a 10-minute walk during your study break, but you must take care of yourself if you're going to succeed in your studies as a non-traditional student. Today, hopefully, you've been provided with a couple of very simple, practical steps that will empower you to achieve your educational goals. In the end, though, let me just say that there is no replacement for a dogged commitment and determination to keep going. Roy T. Bennett, in his book, The Light in the Heart, says this: keep going. Your hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. Keep going. Tough situations build strong people in the end. Keep going. Keep pursuing the goals in your education in front of you.